Alright, for the react to what will happen to Juice WRLD unreleased
This
music?
is set to be Juice WRLD's final posthumous album, and this came as bittersweet news. Is set to be
Final?
Juice WRLD's final posthumous album, and this came as bittersweet news,
Of
knowing Juice
course.
recorded
Final,
hundreds, if
really?
not thousands, of songs before he passed
Final?
away. Now, a lot of fans are left with mixed emotions, knowing it's finally time to say goodbye, but still questioning the whereabouts of those hundreds of unreleased tracks. So, if Juice WRLD really
And are we
did
gonna post
record
singles or
thousands
nothing?
of songs, and this is the final album, what's gonna happen to the rest of all of his unreleased music? Now, before we got the
Final
announcement
though?
that The Party
What
Never
about
Ends
Kid
is
Like a
set to be
Russian?
Juice WRLD's
Or
final
or
posthumous
or or oh, what's the other song?
album,
I
we
remember.
were
It was Kid
struck
Like
with
a Russian and
huge
then
news
there was
following an
something else.
article released to the public in early February. It reads that a
Was it
majority
Konami?
stake in late rapper Juice WRLD's
No.
rights and income streams quietly sold to Opus Music Group in early 2022 in a 9-figure deal. Now, this is public knowledge at this point, but looking deeper into this information, what exactly does this mean? So within this purchase, we have a couple of things. This company, Opus Music Group, now owns the majority of Juice WRLD's publishing ownership rights, in which they're granted access to freely use his music for any reason. An example of this could be using one of his songs as promotion for the new Sonic movie, or remixing an original track like Come and Go to now feature Marshmello, who then revamped the song with instrumentals that weren't present in the initial recordings.
Wait, hold on.
The song with instrumentals that weren't present in the
Why the fuck is this shit so low? I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was gonna turn it up through my headphones, but it's low for y'all niggas too, so.
initial recordings. Revamped the song with instrumentals that weren't present in the initial recordings.
I'm trying to listen to it. I don't know which one I
That's
like
not the
better.
reason this deal was made. And
Ain't
there's
gonna
been a
lie.
lot of confusion surrounding this topic, so let me make this clear for those of you who still don't understand.
My shit gave me a
It should
tattoo
be
like Juice
known that
WRLD.
Opus now owns
Not
90%
a
of
Juice
Juice
WRLD
WRLD's
tattoo, but like
interest in master
the
recording
font
income,
on his
not
tattoos.
ownership of
I
his
really like
actual
it,
masters.
especially on
So
his forearm.
instead of collecting royalties from Juice WRLD's millions of monthly listeners, Interscope sold a large portion of their income rights for a lump sum payout, and the majority of all future
What's
profits
a
will be
lump
going
sum
directly to
payout?
Opus instead. Okay, so now we understand the terms of this purchase, but that still doesn't answer our question. What's gonna happen to the rest of Juice WRLD's unreleased music? Now, if we're pulling from that
Deadass,
same
I need to
article, it
know.
reads that the prolific Chicago-born talent's deal includes his hundreds of unreleased tracks, as well as his full release music catalog. And it wasn't wrong to believe that with this newfound ownership, Opus might have free reign to do as they please with the rest of Juice WRLD's unreleased music. But here's the thing. As it becomes more and more common for rappers to pass away due to their risky extracurricular activities, record labels are invoking specific insurance policies which protect their initial investments in these artists. And this policy is typically written into the majority of young rapper contracts and can be referred to as the key man insurance. But within the music industry, it's known as the death clause. And while Juice WRLD's emotional, drug-induced approach to hip-hop helped define a new generation of music, it almost certainly raised an immediate red flag when approached by Interscope Records. And without knowing the full details of Juice's contract, it's impossible to know whether this policy was actually written in. But with previous interviews claiming that Juice only had around 2,000 followers at the time of signing, it was Interscope's vice president Aaron Sherrod who confirmed that he didn't really have the numbers that would make people think 3 million. We went off our gut. This label took a huge risk on this up and coming artist, and regardless of everything that's happened up until now, unfortunately Jared was just tied into a world of shady businesses and unrestrained access to what caused his eventual demise. And I'd assume after sharing some of his earliest works with the label, specifically his debut studio album Goodbye and Good Riddance, an addition of this sinister policy doesn't seem like such a bad move. Now, there's an important
Like
detail in
about
which this key man insurance
I fuck with
actually
it.
explains this whole situation. And within this article, it reads that the policy's term does not typically extend beyond the period of the artist's contract with the company, which interestingly enough brings us right back to the initial contract that Juice WRLD signed with Interscope Records. Now, again, the full details were never disclosed to the public, and I can't confirm this information with 100% accuracy, but it has been said that Juice WRLD allegedly signed a 5-album contract with Interscope Records and Grade A Productions, which means that The Party Never Ends is the final album before that contract expires.
Damn, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that album should have
The Party
bangers,
Never
bro.
Ends. This project is said to represent the true feeling of a party. It'll be filled with hype songs and fan favorites that'll show the side of Juice that the public really hasn't seen yet. And it should go without saying that new singles will be dropping every now and then, typically around special events like
Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking like, so are they gonna do singles or like what are they gonna do? You feel me? Are they just gonna be done with Juice WRLD music forever? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Birthday, or if one of his songs starts blowing up on TikTok or other social media platforms. We saw this with Cigarettes and Sometimes, which were both added to Fighting Demons. We can expect Juice to feature on producer projects like DJ Scheme and others. We still don't have an exact number to how many songs were actually made and with who he made them with, and we know that there's a handful of features still waiting to be released. Songs with Trippie Redd or Lil Yachty, possible collab tapes with Young Thug or Ski Mask the Slump God. Now, unfortunately, most of this will probably never be released. The projects were either left unfinished or just wouldn't make any sense to drop at this point. But it's worth noting that in just 2023 alone, Juice WRLD fans have spent a collective total of $122,000 on group buy leaks. So as far as actual releases, I'd assume that eventually we'll receive most of his older SoundCloud exclusive drops and projects on all streaming platforms. This won't be something that's prioritized, but this is what X's team has been doing, and I feel like it just makes sense in this situation. And finally, a visual to be paired with some of those singles that are yet to drop. So shout out to all those animators bringing these future projects to new life. And of course, with the last project set to be released, we can expect one final anime themed battle to take place.
Oh, for real?
So with hundreds if not thousands of unreleased Juice WRLD songs still waiting to be surfaced, it's heartbreaking to believe that The Party Never Ends really is the final Juice WRLD album. But much like a party, from the thrill of entry to the final come down, the world will remember his iconic vocals proclaiming, "The party never ends."
To represent the body of work of Juice WRLD, whose cultural significance and generational influence can't be overstated, is an honor and a responsibility with Juice WRLD via Opus Music Group. R.I.P. Juice, bro. 999 forever, bro. Till I fucking die, nigga. He'll only live on the his music had over. Oh god. Alright. I ain't gonna lie, when I saw this title, bro, I thought it was gonna be done for Juice. Like, I thought no more singles, you know what I'm saying, last album, I thought we was just gonna be done with his music and that's it. But I'm glad, you know what I'm saying, the singles still gonna drop and shit, but no more albums. That's all I want to know, ain't gonna lie.